Don't thank me yet.
You have the right to remain silent.
Is it finished?
Yeah, I just saw your tag expired.
Because it's in a TV. A single fact to back that up.
You know, this is the one where,
Think you're funny?
you understand me?
I think you need to go get a dictionary.
Tell me.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight?
If you're going to wait a response, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. I don't understand why people start off videos on YouTube like, what's up, guys? And they're all like, what's up, guys? And they're all smiling like you're not going to get an answer. I mean, maybe you
Leave
will.
it down in the comments.
Yeah, you will in the comments section. If you're one of those YouTubers that reads your own comments.
Right. What do you want to talk about today?
Jesus, I have no idea.
Well, my idea was this. Tell us about your vacation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do have shit we can talk about. We have a lot of easy pickings here.
What? Yeah, let's do a podcast.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? No one knows.
Yeah, we like half of these, I'd say we don't even know what we're going to get into. But yeah, so I just went to Colorado for 5 days. What the fuck city was I in? I can't think of it. It's like escaping me completely. Where the hell the plane even landed? Oh, Vail. We landed in Vail, which was interesting because the moment we stepped out of the airplane and into the airport, I felt like we were in some kind of ritzy fucking ski lodge, which we kind of were. Like the airport felt like it barely even felt like an airport. It just felt like, yeah, some ritzy clubhouse or something. And there was like a fireplace and there was like chaps sitting around the fireplace smoking out of their
So it was like
out
a
of their
lodge
peace
of
pipe.
sorts? Like a lodge?
It felt more like a lodge than an airport because prior to getting there, we had just come from the Chicago airport. And, you know, that's what you'd expect in Chicago.
Right.
But then when we got to Vail, Colorado, and I saw that airport, I was just like, holy shit. I wish all airports were like this.
Oh, so you didn't have you set it up kind of like you had a problem with it, but you didn't have a problem with it?
Well, I had a problem with the TSA coming back. Not a big problem.
What do you mean coming back?
Well, it wasn't even a problem. I didn't have my license in my hand when I walked up to the security guy, the TSA guy, and he was agitated, but he didn't get as agitated as most TSA people do. Like this was on our way back home.
Right.
One of our connecting flights, and we were in the Vail airport, and I don't want to bring any of my weed on the plane.
Right.
Like I had bought gummies, edible gummies, and I had got like 10 like a pack of joints. There was like 5 joints.
Right.
And at the end of the trip in Colorado, I was like, well, I don't want to take these on the airplane. You know, maybe I'd get away with it if I put the joints in my Marlboros. And the gummies, you know, whatever. They're just gummies. I could just sit in my pocket. What is the metal detector going to pick them up?
Yeah.
But whatever. I didn't.
You're going to jail.
I was like, I have a few choices here. I can either leave them at the house, I can risk taking them on the plane, or I can consume them before I get on the plane.
Oh, this is why you'd never text back.
Oh, well, yeah, I remember getting your text at some point when I'm landing. I took my phone off airplane mode and I was like, oh shit. Let me try to power through this real quick. These text messages. But anywho, so before going to the airport, I smoked like 2 of the joints.
Oh my God.
I had one of the edibles, and then I had another one of the edibles in my pocket, and I took it because I didn't want to like waste them.
Yeah, and also you didn't want to remember anything after
I was
40
like,
minutes.
You know, I'm going to be on this plane. I don't have any of the proper plane person gear. Like,
what does that mean?
These headphones, I didn't have these before.
Okay.
I didn't have any headphones. I didn't have a neck pillow. So, and I was between these
You're just talking about everything you would see
two
in a movie.
fucking dudes that like, I don't know how often like people converse with the person next to them in the chair on the airplane. I don't know like if that's how
Like
often.
etiquette of sorts.
Well, I was gonna say etiquette, but like I guess most people just prefer to be left the fuck alone. I mean, I kind of felt that way myself during all of the flights.
Because you were high.
Well, just that one time especially, but even if I was high for all of the flights,
Yeah.
that high made all the other flights would have made me look not high because I was pretty high. And I
would
and
say so.
and I'm building up this story like it's amounting to something, but it's really not. I just was completely like fucking miffed when I got to the TSA guy and he's staring at me and he's just like, I had my I had my phone ready to go.
You were just holding a brownie, an edible.
Yeah.
He's like, "Sir, your ID."
I'm
and you're
trying to
like,
scan a brownie.
Here. You have no idea.
He's like, yeah, he's like, run your ticket over the scanner, and I just like wave a pot brownie over it. I'm like, it's not working,
Right.
sir. That's not
That is not what
that's
that
not
is.
what we're looking for. Anyway, I was so fucking prepared with that thing because I get so anxious in airports for some reason. Not even about flying, but just dealing with security.
Just going through the motions.
Well, like I feel like because my jacket has like a zillion compartments on it. I love my
So
fucking
you
jacket.
have a not friendly flying jacket.
Well, it's a friendly jacket. I like my jacket. It has like a lot of good pockets. It's pockets that stay closed. You know, like the snap
You talking
buttons.
about your leather jacket?
Yeah, over there. It's got the snap buttons and it's got the strong zippers, not the kind of zippers that get stuck, not the fucking cheap shit zippers.
Okay.
It's like the sturdy, heavy duty zippers are like
They're metal zippers.
they're like
Yeah.
you know, like they're serious zippers. So they hold all my shit real good. So I like that coat, but I'm always worried that I have weeds somewhere in it that I missed, and there's gonna be a drug sniffing dog that's just like, and like, oh,
Here it is.
even if there is no weed in the jacket, like I think the dog's gonna smell weed
Right.
on the jacket, and then I'm gonna have to get put in one of those rooms while they interrogate me and miss my plane. So that's always on my mind. But anyway, I was so prepared with the phone.
Are you more worried about like going to jail or just the hassle of having to go through all
Mostly just the hassle.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was so prepared with my phone that I didn't even have my license ready. And before I knew it, I was standing in front of the TSA dude. Like we walked through the ropes to
Right.
get to the TSA guy.
You're just like, here I go.
But I was just like, oh, you know, this is an airport. It's got ropes you walk through. And oh, here's the thing when the guy's asking for my license and there's people behind me. Oh, beep, there's that. Let me get my license out. I'm like breaking I'm like trying to get my wallet out of my pocket with my wrist bending the wrong way like this. And I'm like struggling so much.
Right.
And it's taken me forever to get. I have that wallet that like keeps everything really dense and compact.
Yeah.
And I love the wallet for that. It's not one of those big bulgy fucking wallets that like, you know, it's like a big bulge like a tumor hanging off of you. It's like one of those real nice card condensing wallets. But it took me a while to get my card out of there. And well, you know, he was pissed. And then I got pissed at myself. And I was like, God, I can't fucking operate in an airport.
Was it like 20 seconds that felt too long? Or was it like, it was like legit? It was
like
time.
20 seconds that felt like an eternity.
Okay. So it wasn't that bad. It was just like,
no, it wasn't
a hassle.
It wasn't bad. And there wasn't that many people behind me. When we got in line, there was like one guy that was like, we were like, oh, go ahead. And he's like, no, you go ahead. And then as I was like getting all fucking confused with the TSA guy, I was like, oh, I bet that guy is regretting this. Bet he wish he went first.
He's gonna miss his flight by 20 seconds and come and hunt you down.
Yeah, and then I got all pissed.
You son of a...
Dude, I got so fucking pissed off at the TSA guy. Like, even though I know they have to be like efficient because
Right.
normally it's like a bigger crowd, I got so fucking annoyed. I was like, there's like nobody in this airport. And like, you're like rushing me and making me feel like I'm going to go crazy. Like,
was he actually making you feel that way, or was
yeah,
that in your head?
Yeah, he
you
was.
think?
Like, even he didn't have to do or say anything to make me feel like just on edge completely.
I just imagine him standing there smiling, and you're like, "Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up!"
I was like, I'm high as fucking shit. I look like I have Down syndrome trying to get my wallet out of my jacket, and I'm about to get thrown into a padded room,
I don't think it's bad.
and they're gonna stick the dogs on me.
Yeah, maybe. God, what those dogs have found.
Anyway,
Well, anyway, tell us about your trip.
oh, the trip.
Like that, most of the trip. Yeah.
So, anywho, I had only been to Colorado once before, and that was Fort Collins, and that was only for like 2 or 3 days. And I remember that being super cool and everything, and like looking around, being like, wow, this state looks nothing like my state. I'd sure love to come back here someday and see more of this state. Well, I definitely fulfilled that with this trip. Because we were staying with my girlfriend Heather's, her friends, and their house was nestled nicely into this, little nook of a neighborhood with giant fucking mountains on all sides of the house. And you walk, 100 yards this way, on this side of the neighborhood, and there's a walking path that goes down by this river. And, there's a bunch of friendly, folksy people just jogging and biking on the river or whatever.
So it's like that picturesque movie neighborhood.
Yeah. Like a lot of people on that walking path, like I was spending so much time. Like I was like, I don't even need to fucking go anywhere in this state. Like I'm happy just in this neighborhood I happen to be staying in. I can just walk around this neighborhood and I'm fine. Like I'm content here. I'm happier here than I am jumping in the car and driving, sightseeing somewhere. Like
that's because that's what an actual vacation is: relaxing, not running around.
Well, yeah, sure, exactly. Yeah, it fits my definition perfectly. But anyway, while we were there, we did the hot springs, which that was the best part of the vacation, was the hot springs. Like, imagine it, just 108-degree water, 112 degrees. You get to pick your pool, steam coming off the water. There's mountain views. It was snowing too, but yet we were like awesome. So fucking cozy and just warm and comfy in the pools.
Right.
And they're like, "You want some alcohol?" They
had alcohol there.
Yeah, you can buy alcohol.
You didn't drink anything while you were there?
Well, I didn't need it, dude. I was fine.
High as a kite.
No, I wasn't even high. Like, believe it or not, I went to these hot springs and I didn't even get high. I didn't drink. I just was like, I want a genuine impression of these hot springs.
Right.
And it was like, I didn't need anything to help bolster it. It was
awesome.
Excellent as it was.
Right.
So yeah, the state of Colorado is absolutely fucking spectacular to look at. It's like you could have a 3-hour drive through Colorado and you won't get bored because there's just always something to look at out the window.
Right.
You're just like, you look to your left, look to your right, go over this hill, and you're going to see another just range of mountains. And you look and you can see all the details in the mountains, all the trees and the snow and the rocks and different ledges and cliffs and drop offs and cliff faces and parts where you're like, wow, I wonder if anyone's walked on that spot in 100 years.
Right.
200 years.
Now, do you think you feel that way just because it's so different from like around where you've grown up?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, PA's got some, nice, pretty green hills here and there. Some hills are bigger than others.
That's pretty much the whole landscape.
Looks really nice in the fall.
Right.
But yeah,
it's definitely a wood state. Like a
Yeah, there's
forest
nothing.
state of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I like where I live in this state. I think, we don't get like major earthquakes or tornadoes here, even though I was almost killed in a tornado here. I still don't consider this to be a real tornado problem state.
Well, no, I mean tornadoes can kind of show up anywhere. It's just there are definitely places where they frequent more.
Oh yeah, they can definitely show up anywhere. That's for damn sure. I'll have to tell that story sometime.
Right.
But yeah, like we don't part of southern where we live in southern PA. Yeah, we don't really have natural disasters here. If we the most it ever is maybe like the tail end of a hurricane, maybe a slight earth shake
Yeah.
once every 5 years.
I was gonna say in 2012 or so we had that little earthquake here.
Yeah, and everyone was losing
I
their
think-
minds.
Yeah, I think it was 2012-ish, and because a fault line runs through like Dillsburg or something like that, or through this area, and we had a little one, a little tremor of sorts,
I remember that day.
and it was literally just like the people that did feel it were usually kind of up higher. I think maybe I don't remember how it was. I remember the mechanics at Mazda in town saying that they like all the lifts that had cars up on them were like swaying.
Yeah,
But
some places really felt it a bit more than others.
yeah, it was just kind of like I felt it, but it was more of like it wasn't like a shake. It was like I got disoriented for a second and I saw like the window shake and I was like, what was that? And it was an earthquake, which was a little odd. Definitely not something like you would see other places. That's for sure.
Yeah, after it happened where I was at work at the hospital and I was just like boxing up some shit and I felt the shake. It lasted for like
Hypodermic needles.
2 seconds and that could have been anything. Yeah, a needle box slides off the shelf, it hits me right in the eyes.
All the needles are uncapped somehow.
Like a Final Destination death.
Right.
Someone could have walked in and told me, "Oh, the house across the street exploded. That's all. Just go back to work."
Right.
I didn't even know it was an earthquake until I got on Facebook and everybody was earthquake. Ah! It's like that was the talk of the town all night.
Right. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. But anywho, yeah, PA. I like where we live. I like the state. I think it's pretty. It's got its nice spots. It's got its whatever spots. The roads here suck really bad in PA. Shit roads for sure.
How are the roads out in Colorado? They're brilliant, magical.
Yep.
That's how I feel when I drive into Maryland anytime I touch the border of PA into Maryland, I'm always like, God, PA really needs to step up their game, learn a little bit, for God's sake. Our roads are terrible.
Maybe if they legalize weed.
Listen,
and
this
stop
is how
having-
bad PA roads are. Are you ready? The town that we live in spent all last summer fixing their roads. They had to get another company to come in and fix it again. It's terrible.
It's stupid.
It's awful.
If you could like just add up all the time I have spent sitting waiting for the fucking sign man to spin the sign from stop to slow.
For real.
Like
The sign
who
man.
knows what I could have accomplished like in that accumulated time.
I would have cured cancer for sure.
I probably could have. I could have cured all the diseases
Yeah,
mankind.
right.
I could have read every book.
You would have got too angry at the computer while you were trying to cure mankind.
Yeah. There's a much better chance I would smash my fist through the computer than actually not get the task done.
So out in Colorado, what do you think the hot springs were your favorite? Did you say that?
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite. We went to see Utah too.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't love sightseeing in Utah, just the circumstances of the trip. We like I had mentioned to you, we were with some of her friends, and they had their 1-year-old, which is adorable as a button, but you know how kids
Still don't know
are.
what that means, but go ahead. Oh yeah.
What does adorable mean?
No. Adorable as a button.
Oh well, you know that phrase, catchphrase.
I
Cute as a button.
yeah.
Adorable
I
as a
know, I'm just
button.
kidding.
Whatever.
I'm just
Adorable.
picking.
Adorable kid, but after she threw up milk all over me,
You've stayed your welcome, child.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the highlight of the trip or anything.
Right.
And yeah, it was like just a lot of like, get in the car, drive, let's see this. Okay, that's cool. Let's get back in the car, drive, see this.
Well, yeah,
And
that's
after
how.
doing that for like fucking 12 to 14 hours, and then doing the restaurants in between and everything, and then
Yeah.
like back in the car, back in the car. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, well, your time's very like how would you say that? Like you want to do the most that you can on a vacation. So when you actually get to it and then you realize how much time is like spent going to and from and waiting, and it's just there's not enough time in the day to,
Well, it's like when we went
fit
to
everything in.
we went to Disney World one time, and we're like, hey, this is Disney World. This is the place of magic and fun. Like, you can't help but have fun here. It's like fun all around you. But Jesus, last time I went to Disney
yeah.
World, it was just we were standing in line, just shoved into this fucking cave, waiting to get on some ride. We didn't even know
Yep.
what the hell it was gonna do.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like just being dizzy and disoriented and hot and shitty. And it was like it was so fucking smelty. Like the air, like there was just like so much moisture in the air and so many
It's
people.
called humidity. But yeah,
Yeah, humidity.
that's Florida, man.
And we're just standing in this fucking like makeshift cave.
Yeah.
Just crammed in there with all these people and just like ready to fall over and just being like, this is vacation?
Right.
What? Why are we here? Of all the places we could be with our free time, what the fuck am I doing standing in this cave with all these people?
I really think Disney comes down to like, you have to be a very specific age. Now, I'm not saying you can't like Disney when you grow up, because it definitely has its appeals. But you really have to be a certain age to kind of just like throw yourself at it and be like, oh my gosh, this is all worth it 100%. Because yeah, I remember we went right after high school to go check out Full Sail for me.
Oh yeah.
And we went like 2 days to the park.
School that's $80,000 a semester.
Yeah. We went 2 days to the park, and we did not stay in many lines that were like ridiculous. We just were like, we have 2 days, let's just enjoy as much as we can. Like, that makes sense. Not let's waste our whole day in 2 lines trying to ride that famous ride that, you have to.
Would you rather go to an amusement park that was completely empty and just like the ride operators there?
Right.
Or would you rather have a park that was at 25% capacity?
That is such an odd question.
Right.
In all honesty, it'd probably be 25% capacity.
Why?
Because an empty park would just be odd. Plus, I'm like a people watcher, so if there's like no one else there to entertain me,
that's what I would say too.
Mentally, it's like,
what I like about people would be what was missing from that if that 25% wasn't there.
Right.
Like, I enjoy the people walking when everyone's just around and they're like, ah, ha, ha, and cheery and happy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they are.
They're
off work. They're probably all like half of them are drunk, the other half
Yeah.
are high.
Yeah, I mean,
having family time.
Just think about like how many different types of people you see at the park and just how entertaining it is to like compare yourself or just like
The kids' minds are blown. They
enjoy
just saw Star Wars
Yeah,
land. Whatever.
just like enjoy like watching people. You know what I mean? So like you're walking through the park, you're gonna see the old couple that's been around forever. You're gonna see the new couple that just started dating. You're gonna see the couple that is literally getting into a fight as you walk by. You're gonna see a couple making out. You're gonna see kids running with, you know, their mom and dad. Like everything, like in life, you can see kind of at a park. And it's just kind of fun to like people watch in that way.
Yeah. Then when it gets to like too many people there, then you just start to hate everybody.
Well, yeah, because there becomes a point where like you naturally are like, okay, this is too much.
Yeah. Well, that's what Disney World was. What I was just describing.
Oh, for sure.
We were about to get on that. It was called the Bug's Life or A Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah.
That thing.
That like 4D ride.
Whatever. We sat in these.
It was inside, right?
Yeah, and we sat down on these benches and like watched this fucking. I don't know if it was like a big projection or a play or something, but whatever it was.
Yeah,
it
you sat in a seat and like stuff happened, right?
Yeah, whatever.
What do you mean? Yeah, whatever.
Because I wasn't even like really in tune with anything that was going on. I just wanted to get out of there so badly. It's like I don't want to like this isn't fun at all. I just want to get out of here.
To be fair to Disney, you're like the last person that would enjoy most of everything at Disney.
Yeah,
other than like rides.
Yeah, when I go over down to Florida, there's Universal that's right there, and that's where I spend all my time. I don't know how I ended up over at Disney. I don't know if we were like if I was with my nephew and he wanted to go over there for some reason, and I was just like, fine.
It was that bad for you?
Well, there's just nothing to. The only thing I can think of in Disney World that I like, if I was dropped into Disney World right now, there'd be one thing I'd want to do, and that would be get on their haunted house because that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I remember liking that. Other than that,
at some point, I'm going down to see the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, that would be cool to check out because I haven't seen that yet.
I'm
sure there's some cool shit there. It's just when I waltzed in there during that day, it was a madhouse in there. But you know that's Disney World.
I love the part of Disney World that feel like sets of movies. So like Galaxy's Edge would feel that way. I know they have like Avatar World or whatever it is now.
Why is that movie popular?
What do you mean, why?
Why is that
it's because it was so groundbreaking on what they did. That's basically what it comes down to.
With these fucking cartoon hamster people running around.
Hamsters, not that. They're like twice
cat
the size
people,
as human.
Whatever the fuck they were.
They're avatars.
I couldn't really. I've only seen that movie once. Maybe I should watch it again. After I finished it, I was like, I don't get it. Why is this the #1 movie in the world?
Because it's
because James Cameron did it, the Titanic guy.
Well, he helps. Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, I'm not speaking ill of James Cameron or anything.
Well, like, I think it just came down to
you know how much I love the Terminator.
The type of movies, the type of movie it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, what other movie can you think of that did that or looked that way or like went that hard into everything?
There wasn't. Joe.
What? No.
I don't know. Any fucking cartoon.
Yeah, it wasn't a cartoon. It was all 3D.
To me, it's
very different. You know that.
It didn't do anything.
Also, once again, that type of if they would have used all the same effects and did it differently to like a movie, I would say that's your style. You would be like, oh, this is awesome.
Oh,
but it very much was a Disney movie, so that's which is what it is. It's a certain audience, and also I want you to remember basically any cartoon movie or animated movie that Disney releases becomes like the top 5 movie when it comes out. So it's not surprising that Avatar is or was.
Well, that's not a Disney movie.
Yeah, it's I think they bought the rights to it or something.
Disney did?
Well, yeah, of course. What is it? What was it? Fox?
I don't fucking know.
Let's look. You keep talking.
I sit here and say, oh, I could give it another chance, but there's so many movies out there to watch that I would watch before Avatar. There's so many shows I would watch before I'd watch Avatar. I've seen it once. It didn't knock my socks off. I just was like, I guess I was entertained by I don't even remember what I felt after I watched it. This was 2008, right? I watched it like the year it came out or the year after it came out.
I'm not sure.
I barely remember anything about it.
So Disney owns Avatar now, not when it came out.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing the Disney logo all over it, but
no, but it's in that same vein of like by the end it's a feel good movie.
It felt like a bunch of one trick pony villains trying to get the upper hand on a bunch of one-dimensional wooden actors. Like
wooden actors? I'm not sure.
Like Sam Worthington.
Oh,
who's about as interesting to watch as like a fucking tumbleweed.
Jeez, God.
All right.
Are you okay tonight? You're really on it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm angry.
Like Sam Worthington, like I know I've seen him in something that I liked him in. I just like you're probably not gonna know what it is. But Hacksaw Ridge. Like I remember he was in that. He was good in that. He was some other fucking guy in some other fucking thing, and he was good in whatever that was. But Sam Worthington is a lot like there's another actor like Jai Courtney. You know who that is? It's just like these buzz-cutted haired dudes with like
they fit that very specific.
They just fit role. That they fit right in as like a shoe-in or not a shoe-in. That's not the right.
Like main character soldier 1 through 12.
Like if no one else is picking up the phone, like you can always call their agent and they'll fit the physique bill and the pretty face and they can deliver lines. But like there's just nothing about the guy.
Well, I don't think he's as bad as you're saying.
It's not that he's bad. He just he's not memorable to me. Like that type, like him or Jai Courtney, like, and that's not to say like neither one of them haven't like had their shining moments. I know they have. I've seen them have their shining moments, but like what I mean with Avatar is like it seemed like he was phoning it in, but you know what? I shouldn't even say anything about it because I don't even remember the movie.
Well, I don't think you're wrong about it. He doesn't, I guess I would put it to you this way. He doesn't like lend much to the role to make like that specific thing like, oh, wow, that was great. It's more like that movie is great because of what you're like seeing on screen is just like so crazy. Most people hated the movie because it was literally the story of America and the Indians is really what it came down to.
Yeah, I remember that being kind of hinted at slightly.
Yeah. Because it was literally just like the white man came in, taking over the natives' land. There's one white guy that falls in love with the natives, Pocahontas and John Smith. And he's trying to then help the natives be okay with the white people. And it was like the same. It was literally the same story.
Yeah.
Just
it's the same.
The only difference is it's in the future. I think
a million
different
fucking
planet.
times. Only it's got a much bigger budget.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I didn't know you had. We should have talked about this before. I didn't know you hate this movie so much.
Well, again, if I wanted to put the time into it to watch it again, I'm sure I would appreciate it in many regards. And again, it's James Cameron. So the guy, like his whole track record before that, he's never made a bad movie. Like I
don't think this was a bad movie. It's just,
and maybe I wouldn't call it a bad movie, but it sure as fuck ain't memorable. And it sure as shit ain't worth 3 hours of my time. I know that fucking thing is long. And I know that Jimmy Cameron's coming out with like 18 more of these goddamn things.
Well, I think it's supposed to be a trilogy.
Like,
of
he's
sorts.
never going to make another movie again about anything. Like, the guy has a brilliant mind and imagination,
right.
and he could come up with so many other fucking awesome things, but instead he'd rather make Avatar 2 and 3. Dude, make a sequel to any one of your other movies, anything, anyone, True Lies, or pick one. Just why
Right.
Avatar?
He likes Avatar
Why,
for some reason.
why do we have to continue to watch more movies about American genocide parallels?
Well, because that's what sells.
And blue cat people tangling their fucking tails around each other's wieners and sitting
Nope.
in a tree.
Doesn't happen.
And a fucking baby comes out of the like, isn't that
Also
how they
doesn't
procreate? Like they make love by like sitting in a tree or something and wrapping their
the
fucking
tree has
jagons around each other.
Jagons? I don't know what that is at all.
they're jagons. And just the
tree has nothing to do with
stereotypical big bad army man with the chainsaw. I'm gonna mech machine. I'm gonna cut down your trees in your home. Rawr.
Yeah. No, their
We gotta
sexual
Rawr.
organ was like in their I don't know if it was their tail. I guess it was their tail. And they just kind of like meet together.
That's stupid.
It's kind of like
that's the stupidest thing I've ever
conceived.
seen. That doesn't make any sense. What's the point of that?
It doesn't have to make sense as an alien
Let's
species.
do something different. They're gonna wrap their tails with each other.
No,
in
they
a
don't
tree.
wrap. It's like the ends of the tails are like the entry points for the sexual organs. So it's not too far off from like our own.
I don't get why the need just to be different. Like, oh, they're different creatures, so we're gonna have them make babies, but we're gonna show them do it in a different way. How can we do that?
Usually,
not the old penis in the vagina trick. No, we got to come up with something else. Let's have them wrap their tails around each other's faces.
And while we're at it, fuck the seahorse, because all of that doesn't make sense. No, I mean, usually different species do procreate slightly different.
Well, you know what? If you want to get that shit, then go watch Animal Planet. But, you don't have to waste an hour of screen time
I definitely
shoehorning in this wooden relationship with acting about as good as that you'd find on Pornhub. I don't know. I didn't mean to get down this whole road of Avatar thing, but I just cannot understand why there's sequels coming out to a movie that was so boring.
Well, because it made a ton of money.
Well,
that's why.
I don't know what the fuck's wrong with everybody going to see this thing.
I'll just give you a slight contrast.
To each his own, whatever.
Your favorite movie of all time was the Dead trilogy somehow.
Yeah,
because that had to be allowed. So the contrast,
people knew it was good for them.
The contrast between like that and Avatar is violent.
It is violent because the Dead trilogy has something called interesting characters and a more fun plot, more fun imaginative plot to put yourself
of course,
in the shoes of those characters. But if you'd rather watch a bunch of CG hamsters wrap their tails around each other's trees and get in fights with mech machines in the woods with a bunch of one-note ponies squabbling over fucking land that, a bunch of CGI land that floats in the sky for some reason.
I'm really hating on the CGI.
It doesn't. I don't give a.
Spit it out. You can do it.
The CGI doesn't save this movie at all. Like it, and everybody knows that. Like, there's no one. People don't need this explained to them. Like, oh, if you have good enough CGI, that can save wooden acting. It can't. Like, it's just.
Oh no, of course not.
And the CGI, I don't even remember if it was good or bad.
It was the best for its time.
So does that mean, like Jurassic Park CGI still looks, for the most part, decent?
It holds up.
There's some shoddy shots, but for the most part, it's like doesn't bother me. Avatar, I can probably see that bothering me. Probably throughout the whole movie, I'd be bothered.
Well, the whole movie is CGI, so it's not
Yeah,
like
those blue cat people looked fake as fuck. I remember.
well, it's not supposed. I don't think the style was supposed to look like photo real. Like, how does an
What do you
alien
mean?
cat
That's
person?
then he
cat-
wasn't ready to make the movie. He shouldn't have made it. And why has he been waiting so goddamn long? It's been
for technology to catch up.
oh well, he should have waited for technology to come catch up before he started this mess in the first place.
Oh my goodness, Matthew!
And he should.
Movies like that actually push the industry forward. So if you just always wait for somebody else
Jurassic
to
Park
do it,
pushed it in '93 better than Avatar pushed it in '08.
well, yeah, because that's
Avatar
they
didn't
knew their
push it;
limitations.
they pulled it back.
Oh, that's not true, but I don't think you understand how that works. No,
I'm
think
sure a lot of people wasted their time putting it together.
the money says otherwise, but
Well, yeah, I'm glad they all got a paycheck to take home for their long, hard day of work that didn't amount to anything of substance.
I think it amounted to tons of money and awards and stuff. So
Yeah, well, you know what? Take your money, take your awards. If you like the movie, pat on the head. Good for you.
well, you
I
have
hope you enjoy the sequels.
you have never been one that loves like CGI heavy movies in that way, in that specific style. But like take like Wolf of Wall Street and stuff like that. They built whole digital sets and stuff, and you don't really have an issue with that.
Oh, not at all.
Why? Because it's the same thing.
Because they had me convinced.
It's just because
I
it's
didn't question it
up front in your face. Is like,
yeah, I didn't
this is
question
not
it.
okay. So
they
you draw
blended
your
it.
line at if I don't question it, it's okay.
Yep.
Well, that's harsh.
If it looks right, it is right. If I
Here,
see something,
all you small
Look,
companies out there that
look.
don't have the budget to do everything, don't do anything because we're never going to
no,
do your movie.
what I would
good,
say to them
okay?
is don't try to
Matt
do something.
hates you.
Don't try to do something that's outside the realm of your capabilities. Use your noggin and think of a compromise. You can come up with better ideas when you have to compromise
Right.
because of budget. But if you just have to have this effect in your movie because it's just so cool. And you know what? Like if that plays to the cheesiness and charm of your movie, then go for it. There's so many
Right.
movies that are so much fun with bad CGI or whatever, and that's totally fun. But a movie that's trying to be serious, like Avatar,
Right. I don't think.
Oh God.
I think you're remembering it awkwardly. I don't think it was as bad. Like obvious, like it's CGI because nothing you see is possible.
Like I said, I'm judging this movie based off of viewing it. This is a review. 8.
Go ahead. This is how well you know the movie.
How many years is from 2008 to 2021?
2008?
13 years.
13, yeah.
So 13 years later, I'm talking about
right
what I thought of that movie. I saw it once. I've never watched it since.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm not totally disagreeing with you. I just think you're just a little heavy-handed on like it's all CG. It can't, it's awful. Because I love CG. No, I really do.
I do too if it's like actually used the right way. But
what does that mean though? Because that's all up to like interpretation or like that's like individual liking. Because like some art or like cartoon styles I really don't like, and then there's others I think are absolutely beautiful. But it's all like cartoon.
When you're blending CGI with actual in-camera people or settings that were actually there and they just don't fit together in the frame, like there's the contrast between the two of them is so jarring, and it just looks like you're looking at a cartoon overlaid into a live
I understand
action.
what you're saying there.
Then that just takes me out of it completely.
Okay, well, let me ask you, like, did you enjoy District 9?
I remember enjoying. That's another movie I only saw one time, and I remember liking it. And that is a movie that has been in my head as like on my, we all have our rewatch list in the back of our mind. That's one that's been in there somewhere on the rewatch list. Avatar has not. But District 9 has.
Right.
You were probably going to say that is full of CGI.
Well, like the whole movie is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
aliens,
it's lit. The aliens, any of the robotics,
they did it better.
a ton of stuff they
did it
yeah.
better.
Well, it was just a different style. That's my whole point. Because think Avatar was made as a 3D movie for the visual.
Yeah, it was
like,
cashing in on that 3D
for like
thing.
the visual pleasure.
3D.
So in that aspect, I think they hit it out of the park. And if they would have like pitched Avatar as like, this is going to be the best story ever told on the screen, obviously no, they sucked. But like as a visual thing to like watch, it's very cool. Like I don't remember a movie before that ever doing that other than just like a flat out cartoon. So in like the 3D aspect of it, it was like really awesome. Now District 9 nailed like the photorealism, like, oh my God, everything makes sense in this shot. Obviously, you still know it's CG. Like when you see an alien walking on the screen, it's either a guy in a costume, and usually you can tell nowadays, or it's some type of CG. And like District 9, you know it's CG. But the way they like matched first of all, like all the colors were correct. Lighting, the way they like matched two different sets of like film, so to say, or video that well, sold every bit of it. Like you didn't a second guess anything. Like even though you know it's CG.
Maybe that's because the special effects department only had to worry about making the CGI aliens and not a whole bunch of floating islands and glowy trees and jellyfish floating through the sky for no reason, and a bunch of CGI jagons rapping.
What is a jagon? Is this a word you were making up?
It's from a South Park episode.
Oh, okay.
Where remember, suck my jagon.
Oh,
suck my jagon. Yeah, you suck mine.
Yes. God.
It felt like the appropriate word to describe these Navi. I remember that. Oh my God, the Navi.
Navi.
Like that was, yeah, Jesus. I guess that's the one memorable thing I took away from that movie.
All the memories are coming back now.
Stephen Lang was cool though. I know you don't know who that is.
The bad guy.
Yeah. Okay, you do know who that is.
I know who Stephen Lang is.
Yeah. By now, most of the rest of the world's caught on to.
Yeah,
the awesome and cool.
He was Lang. Like, so here's my opinion.
He comes to the visitor center a lot
on his performance. He was, as always, like great actor, awesome bad guy.
I'll give him, if there's a good part about that movie, I'll give it to
Sigourney Weaver's in it, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say those two, like you can tell they know how to act. Like they're actors. I don't think there's anybody else in the movie that like really stands out. I think the chick who played the female Navi is a really good actress.
Yeah, I've seen her and stuff.
Obviously, like her natural performance is covered up by the 3D model. But you can definitely tell like the aspects of her acting come through, which that's why a lot of that movie was a pretty big breakthrough, because you were actually getting the actor's performance in the 3D model more than any other movie. But what was I going to say? Oh, Lang, the only thing that I hated about like his role is you could have like plucked him out of that movie and put him in any other like war or takeover type movie, and it's like this, it's just the typical guy. None of the roles in that movie were unique at all.
That's why they called Sam Worthington. Get in here, Sam. We got a role that anybody could play.
Come on, boy.
Your paycheck, we noticed, is
his agent's like, Daddy's got to pay the bills.
Yeah. There's no money left over to pay for any actors.
Right.
James Cameron's scheduled another submarine expedition to look at the Titanic right after this, so we don't have any money left for actors. Where's Sam's number? We got Jai Courtney. Oh no, he's working on Die Hard 5. Oh, okay, call Sam Worthington.
Oh, that's gonna be a hit. All right, get Sam.
Yeah, get him in here. He wants to bring the paper bag. Let him.
No, I just think that movie in general wasn't anything
If I
like
was
the
getting
writing
stoned back
or
then,
story. Well, here's the thing.
then maybe I'd
That
liked
movie
it.
holds a little bit of a special place in Kim and I's heart because of that. We would get super high
There's the difference.
and put like I'm talking about like high,
yeah,
like baked high, and watch that, and it would just be like,
my problem is I was sober.
you know,
That's my problem.
yeah, you can look past a lot if you're chilling and super high.
Yeah, dude, no doubt that, I'm sure all the elements of the wham bam laser pew pew gun
Yeah.
battles would have been super dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I know James Cameron knows his way around action, so I'm sure that was competent enough, even though I don't know if the stakes, if I really gave a shit about anything going on with anybody.
Well, they were about to blow up the mother tree or the tree that
Oh, the tree that gives
the
fucking
whole world
life.
life, yeah. Or them life or whatever.
Yeah, whoop-de-woo, sacred tree.
What does that sound like? Native Americans.
Yeah, I mean, that the message is pretty clear. I guess he got his point across.
Right.
America, a bunch of genocidal
Stephen Lang.
nutbags. Yeah, you need Stephen Lang in there to show them what for.
Gosh.
That was who was gonna have that role?
Who?
The Bean Machine.
Michael Biehn, really? See,
Because
you would have loved that movie if he was in there, but that would have been it would have been the same character though.
There's a lot of Michael Biehn movies I don't like. So
I
even
think Michael Biehn
would have
played it basically the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Stephen Lang got it because he was probably the only redeemable thing about the movie.
I just think when it comes down to it, the actual characters, not the actors, the characters in the movie, the storyline was nothing spectacular. The visuals, I think, were awesome, but the visuals can't do anything for the movie if it's not a good movie. Yeah,
it certainly wasn't memorable for me.
It's because you were angry. Like, why'd I pay money for this?
Well, I remember I finished it. I remember I got through the whole thing, and I remember the credits, and I think my dad was watching it with me, and he was just like, he didn't say anything. He just got up and left.
He's like, God, this is dumb.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I can't believe we sat
I went to war for this.
Yeah, because you sit there for so long. You're like, God, you sat here for 3 hours, and that's what you invested your time in?
Yeah.
And it's like, God, I could have got so much done today. I could have watched something else.
Could have got so much done today around the house by
I could have enjoyed my time better. I could have been walking around in circles outside, and that would have been better than this.
Right. Well, unfortunately, can't win them all.
They can't all be winners. And, even the worst movies can teach us something, right? Like,
don't invade nations or planets.
Well, I'm not talking about gleaming any kind of like moral, what's the word? I don't know.
Sure, go on.
It's not supposed to teach you any life lessons or anything. I just want to be entertained.
Right.
Like, God, I'm going to be 30 the end of this year. And pretty soon I'm going to be 40, and then I'm going to be 50. I don't want to spend my whole fucking life watching Avatar sequels. I don't want to spend 3 hours watching.
We
have such a finite amount of time on this earth, and to spend it watching Avatar.
Conversation, right?
To spend it watching fucking Avatar.
All right, next subject.
Do you know what this is going to be? Because if you don't, I know what we can talk about.
I didn't know right away. No.
Let's talk about this Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh, I actually thought about it at the beginning, but go ahead.
Okay,
start it off.
Let me just start off by saying that I jizzed all over my pants, my face, and my computer when that trailer came out. I thought the characters looked right, the costumes looked right, the tone looked right. They even had like a remix of that theme we all love, like snuck in there somewhere. And it was just like, it looked like, okay, there's going to be a reimagining of this, and this looks like the kind of thing I didn't know exactly what I wanted to see other than the characters looking and acting right and the world and
Right.
universe looking right, which it does, but like everything was just felt right.
Yep.
And good and great, and it like maximized excitedness. I was going to make all kinds of points here. My mind right now is just firing in all kinds of different directions to talk about this Mortal Kombat movie. But point being that I've been super stoked for the Mortal Kombat movie ever since, even before there was any, after I saw Mortal Kombat in 1990 fucking 5, 6, 7, whatever it was, I have been waiting for like this Mortal Kombat movie.
Right.
So that's the good stuff.
I don't think there's any bad stuff. There's just kind of like
There's a disappointment.
Right.
Well, there's a disappointment and there's a hang up.
Right.
The hang up kind of has to do with the disappointment.
Just spit it out.
The hang up,
Jonny Cage.
well, that's the disappointment.
What's the hang up?
The hang up is this character, Cole Young, who is supposed to be like the main protagonist.
Okay.
And Cole Young is not actually a Mortal Kombat character.
Right.
He's just some other character that exists just for this movie.
Right.
Which might actually like work great. He might be kind of like the avatar of like the audience, the viewer. Like,
I'm not really sure what you mean.
Okay, so there's this character called Cole Young in this movie who's not an actual Mortal Kombat character, and he kind of seems like the guy that's thrust into this world of Mortal Kombat. So instead of the audience having to pick one of these very strange characters,
old school characters,
like one of these crazy characters, like who can you relate most with? Well, I don't know. None of them seem too relatable, even though they could be made that way quite easily, but whatever. Let's make this guy Cole Young, and he can be like the everyman that we all relate. He can be the conduit in which the audience like puts themselves into, and it gets introduced to the world. He's basically like an exposition earpiece,
right?
To have shit explained to him,
right?
So the audience can like, because Mortal Kombat, the lore of Mortal Kombat is so like genius to me, and there's so much material there that they could easily make a
trilogy or so,
a mini series, a show. There's so much awesome shit there to mine. There's so many character backstories that are so what? Bitcoin?
You said mine.
Oh yeah. Get that Bitcoin. This is not financial advice. Entertainment only.
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
But there's so much backstory.
There's so much awesome backstory. To so many awesome characters, and just the whole plot is so fucking cool. Yeah. And blah blah blah, nerd talk, whatever. Right. So my hang up is this Cole Young guy. I am a little apprehensive about a dude that wasn't in the game to begin with. They just like the producers or whoever the fuck was like, oh, we got to make this guy. So hopefully he is to the betterment of the movie and doesn't hold it back. And because I'm worried about him robbing screen time from actual characters that we've been waiting 25 years to see.
Right.
Now, if there was, I almost said if there was an everyman, but that's almost the wrong word, everyman. Like, just
if there was a neutral character.
Where the fuck is Jonny Cage? That's the hang up.
Well,
he's the guy.
Well, that's why I sent you that
Jonny Cage
thing.
is like the guy from Earth,
right?
Which Earth realm, because Earth is just one of many realms in the Mortal Kombat. Earth is just another place, but it's not. It's like it's a realm. There's Outworld. There's the Nether realm. There's all these fucking cool places. And Jonny Cage is from Earth realm, and he's a Hollywood actor. who actually does his own martial arts stunts in his movies, and he joins the tournament to prove to his critics and audiences that he's the real deal, that he's not a fake, that
Right.
he does his own stunts. Like, that was his whole reason for joining the tournament.
Right.
It was to like show off his ego.
Right.
And there's so much you could do. And they kind of, Johnny Cage was in the original movie, and that was like the point of his character there. But you know, and I liked that character. I thought like the guy played him well and everything, and it was like fun, and even his jokes were cheesy and not even that funny. But you know, whatever. Like, why the fuck couldn't he have been in this movie?
Right.
Like, what the fuck? He's Johnny fucking Cage, dude.
Well, and you said that you heard that they took him out because it was like the one white guy.
Yeah, what I heard,
and then I'll say what I saw.
What I heard, well, I didn't even hear this. I was just scrolling through YouTube, and I saw it was the title of another YouTube video that Johnny Cage was not part of the cast in the new Mortal Kombat movie because he's the only white male
in the thing, even though Kano's like white.
Male. Yeah, Kano's a white male,
but he's the only natural.
But like, we can only have one white male these days. You know,
yeah,
and
then
have two.
The thing that I saw is that the producer said that they felt like they couldn't have two kind of like snarky male.
That's stupid. That's bullshit.
Characters in the same thing. Which is like the most ridiculous. That sounds like a thing that was written and given to the producers for when the question was asked, why isn't Johnny Cage in the movie? That's what it's like. Now, I want to play a little game with you.
Pardon me. Continue.
Well, for those that don't know, that was a sneeze.
Sneezes
may have died twice.
Sneezes feel good.
God.
If you just let a sneeze be a sneeze, it's actually quite enjoyable.
So what I was going to say was, so I want you to just have a little challenging fun.
Okay.
If you were sitting in the meeting that the producers are all sat around and said, okay, guys, what are we doing here? What characters are we keeping? Are we keeping them all? Are we taking them out? And someone says, hey, I don't think we should have, well, he has two questions. I'll let you answer them equally, or like after I ask the first one and then the second one. I don't think we should have two snarky guys in the movie. What is your basic argument for, hey, we need to have Johnny Cage in here because that's all the like historical characters?
I'd say, sir, you have a pretty shallow view of characters when all you can do.
Now, he didn't say anything about race. He just said, I don't think
that wasn't even going to come into it. If all you can do is boil a character as rich as Kano and Johnny Cage down to snarky, the snarky guy. Oh, they both have a snarky character trait. Oh, wow. Kind of like how some characters have mischievous character traits. Oh, God, you can only have one of those, right? Or a greedy character trait. Oh, God forbid you have more than one of those. Kano and Johnny Cage may both be snarky, but they're the yin to the other's yang. You love to hate one and you hate to love the other. They contrast each other amazingly. One fights for himself and all that to betters himself. The other also does the same thing, but his journey is differently because he learns the value of human life and all that jazz.
Yeah.
While the other one just continues to find ways to. He's basically like the neutral guy. Like I'll do whatever the money, whatever pays me, whatever. So they're two polar opposite. They may have similar character traits, but they're taking two completely different paths, two completely different journeys, and to just boil them down as the snarky guy. I get it. Is that Who's fucking Sub-Zero? Is he
Okay.
the what is he the?
Okay. Well, okay.
We can only have we can't have Scorpion and Sub-Zero. We already have one ninja, so one of them's
Right.
got to go.
Okay, so then
There's different fucking motivations
okay, so
here.
let's say you're the guy who came up with the idea to take him out.
Well, I wouldn't be.
But what would your argument be for taking him out?
I'm gonna try to think of one.
Yeah,
I
just
really
want to
am.
like let's pretend like we're like getting into these producers' heads. Like, why would they decide in good conscience? Because from the outside looking in, other than kind of what you just said about like the everyman's man, the new guy, what's his name?
Cole Young.
Other than that being a decision, it seems like they've taken care of it. Like they have taken care of kind of like the feeling of Mortal Kombat, right? They've done a really good job, at least in the trailers, and hopefully that carries through in the film. But so with that being said, they're making all these decisions. It's feeling good, and then someone says, "Hey, I don't know if it's good if we have two snarky, like Deadpool types in the film together. So why don't we take one of them out?" Someone's like, "Well, Kano's awesome, and Johnny Cage is just a regular guy. So let's take the more simple one out." Like, what does that conversation look like? If both of us agree, okay, let's take Johnny Cage out, what does that conversation actually look like?
If someone was trying to find reasons to take out Johnny Cage, I guess the conversation would look like, well, he was in the first movie, and he doesn't have any sort of rivalry. Like, there's this huge rivalry between Kano and Sonya.
Yeah.
Because Kano killed Sonya's partner.
Right.
Johnny
Sub-Zero,
Cage,
Scorpion
and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Like, they need each other.
Right.
You can't have one without the other. Like people have their counterpoints.
Right.
Johnny Cage, I don't think like has an immediate counterpoint that I can think of.
Okay.
Other than himself, really.
Keep going.
This is basically just like me ranting about a character that he's the most charismatic
Right.
of the bunch. He may not wear the fanciest wardrobe,
right?
You know,
right?
Or have the most badass moves or something. But Johnny Cage just brings a certain element in comic relief to Mortal Kombat that I think is absolutely fucking necessary.
Right.
And Kano, you know, he was great in the first one. Like, and he had his funny moments. Like if there was comic relief, it was coming from Johnny Cage and Kano, but it wasn't like any ha moments.
Right.
From just either one of them so much.
Have on the
like I don't know.
Not the whole thing. I was just trying to see who they have on this poster, but it won't.
Oh,
hold on. There's more. I would like to like just blow that up, but I guess I can.
Yeah, it looks like Scorpion and Sub-Zero in the front. Shang Tsung. That's Melina.
Oh, is it? See how I don't know why it cuts it off. Oh, let's try to get from here. I just want a bigger version of it. That's all. Jeez, shouldn't be that hard. I guess that's a little better. Melina.
Okay, so on the right you have Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung, Melina. That looks like Smoke.
I can't actually.
Is that a robot? Oh no, that's Cabal. Dude, is that fucking Cabal?
That's the hook swords.
Oh, that's fucking Cabal, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is, Cabal. Sick. I didn't even know he was in the movie.
So then we have Scorpion, Jax, Sonya, and
Cole Young. Let's hear it for Cole Young.
Oh, wait a sec.
What a charismatic name. Cole Young. God.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is now. Remember, we're pitching this. We're for this. Remember, in this scenario. So what is the argument to get that through? Is it okay, guys? Everybody knows and loves the old school characters. Everybody does. So why not add a new character to it while we have the chance instead of just bringing back all the old stuff? What do you think the argument is there? Do you think that's a valid thing? Because
I'm not saying it's not valid. I just can't, off the top of my head, think of much of a valid reason other than a character that is unaware of the Mortal Kombat universe to be introduced to the Mortal Kombat universe.
Right.
Because in the first movie, the three main characters were Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny Cage, and none of the three of them were aware.
Right.
Raiden delivered the news, hey, there's this tournament. This is the 10th one. If we lose this tournament, then Outworld Bad Guy Land gets permission from the Elder Gods to invade Good Guy Land and rip our shit apart.
Right.
So Liu Kang had heard the stories and fairy tales, so there wasn't really a lot of time in the first movie for them to have the gravity of the situation really weigh on them. They were just told this story, and they're just like, oh, like they had 2 minutes now. 2 minutes to be like, wow, huh? Well, you don't hear that every day.
Right.
And then I guess we're in a tournament for the fate of the not only the universe, but the universes we can't see.
Right.
So okay, if they have to exposition the fuck out of explaining Mortal Kombat, most of the people that are going to see this are already going to kind of know the basic gist, but you do have to lay the groundwork again.
Yeah.
And they might do most of that through exposition to Cole Young,
which I'm assuming is exactly the setup. I mean, that's right in our face at this point.
Yeah, there's in the trailer, he has the Mortal Kombat dragon tattoo.
Yeah.
And that's that's a birthmark, which means you get to be fighting the tournament.
Yeah.
And to me, maybe that'll play out in a way that's acceptable or even cool, but at face value, I don't really get a boner over that. I got a birthmark. I'm supposed to be in a tournament.
Well, how was it originally? Did somebody just show up and be like,
yeah, there was no fucking tattoo. It was just hey, you're the best fighter in the world. You should represent our realm. So
on Earth, would somebody show up?
Yeah, Raiden showed up to Raiden gathered Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny Cage as his champions to fight for Earthrealm because they were the three best fighters that he could get to fight for Earthrealm, even though their skills paled in comparison to the fighters from the other realms. He's like, these three fucks are the best I got, so I'm gonna tell them what's up, and they need to fucking get their shit together and do it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how it was set up in the first.
Yeah.
And they did a decent enough job at making it understandable.
Right.
But there was, I don't know. There's just, when you're talking about something that has this much substance to it and this much lore and mythos to it.
Oh, I get it. I lived through the recent Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Well, so, what were we doing here? We were pitching.
Yeah, why would it be okay to take him out and basically substitute a completely new character in for Johnny Cage or any of the other characters so far?
Well, again, to summarize, Johnny Cage, because he was in the original, because he doesn't have a direct adversary.
Right.
And because Cole Young might be a very easy way of expositioning the living fuck out of everybody.
Yeah.
To get the ball rolling for the plot.
Yeah.
And the birthmark tattoo, again, my initial reaction is that seems like kind of the part of the writing process that was
Been done a lot.
hastened along.
Like, what's the Hollywood birthmark thing to
I
do?
got a special birthmark. Fuck your birthmark. Like, woo. That's not interesting to me.
Right.
Like, I'd rather just like have fighters chosen because they're good fighters, not because they were born with some fucking birthmark that like automatically means you're special and you get to fight in the what? Isn't
maybe
it better to
maybe
earn...
maybe they'll do a thing where if they decide they can do extra movies, maybe this movie will just be like some odd special thing where it's not just like, oh, we've got to wait for the birthmark babies. Maybe it'll be just like you're a chosen one, but also fighters are chosen by skill, and they can just kind of sidestep that. Because I definitely feel like at some point when you go to write down kind of like okay, let's reboot this thing and see what happens, you're going to use a lot of aspects that are the same, and you're also going to change like really key controversial points for like an update. You know what I mean? So I could almost promise you there were producers or somebody that sat down at some point and were like, don't you think it's kind of stupid that just like some guy's in his jujitsu class and just like Raiden pops out of nowhere is like, you're a good fighter. Like, you can kind of understand that. Yeah. You know what I mean, though? You can kind of understand that argument where it's just kind of like, that's kind of weird. Like Raiden hops off the bus and it's like, Sonya, you.
I don't know. Like, I think there's if you're looking for comic relief, I think that's one of the easy ways you'll find it is by taking this like fish out of water that knows nothing of these other worlds or this tournament and is suddenly told like, oh, hey, yeah, this exists and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance and you're the best man for the job. So you have to join this tournament where there's fighters that have 4 arms and are half man, half dragon. And there's sorcerers you have to fight that can throw fire and ice at you. And like, oh, really? I'm kind of only used to fisticuffs.
Right. And then in contrast, you're having someone who, like, haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, but like possibly has been told all of his life that he's special because he had the Mortal Kombat tattoo.
What's your favorite band?
I don't know. I would have a real hard time picking
one you like.
Coheed and Cambria.
Okay.
I'll just spit those out right now.
So let's say that they didn't actually work on their craft from whatever age they started, and your band,
Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, Cambria.
Coheed and Cambria.
Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah.
Let's just say they were born with a birthmark, and all the band members, one had a birthmark of a guitar on his nipple, and the other had a drum set on his pec.
Nipple.
Yeah,
on his collarbone.
And the other had a big microphone on his back, and it's like, oh, the band was born with their special birthmarks, and we know exactly who's supposed to play what part, and they're supposed to form this band.
That's an odd analogy.
Would you rather have that, or would you rather just like, hey, you're everybody with like Pat, who's born with passion, and like this is what they were meant to do, like that. So they worked at it basically. Yeah. By the blood, sweat, and tears of themselves, they became this artist because it's what it was the passion. They were born with a passion, and I'm not a fucking birthmark on their butt.
Well, yeah, but
that means that they're special.
You're bypassing a little bit that, like, because they would have the birthmark, they would just have the talent right away. So they would still have to do all that other work. It's just the idea that they would have had like some type of knowledge before like Raiden or someone shows up to take them, that they're probably going to be the one taken.
What if Raiden shows up to Cole Young's house and is like, hey, it's tournament time, bitch. And he's like, this fat fuck that's just does nothing but sit on his couch all day eating chips and watching TV.
That would obviously be a choice.
It's like, what? Fight for what? Like, I can't even get out the door.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I think
can't even get off the couch.
I do think I agree that it would have been a little bit different in a good way to kind of have people proving their worth, so to say, and then like Raiden or someone showing up being like, okay, he's ready, and then introducing himself and then like that. But you also don't want a copy of like the old movies, which is always like the fine line people tangle with in like reboots and stuff. It's like, do we make it a repeat? Because then we're just updating the movie. We're not like rebooting it. So it's always that like weird fine line, especially with something like this, where if they ruin it, people are gonna, somebody's gonna say something. you know, if Sonic the Hedgehog can be changed because enough people on Twitter hated it, then if the what do you call them?
I'm so
like
glad
the
that
test
happened.
audiences for Mortal Kombat are gonna say something.
Yeah, I'm so glad that happened because I don't know what the fuck the Sonic people were thinking, making whatever that abomination was that they made.
Yeah.
Why make him look stupid?
They made him. They humanized him.
Why do they do this all the time? I don't understand why a studio or producers come along and you're like, no, the lore is stupid, the design is stupid. Oh no, sir, Mr. Producer, sir. This is popular because the plot and character design, all of that is right. That's what made it popular to begin with.
Right.
Oh no, that's a bunch of shit. I know better than these fucking game creators. What do they know? They make games. They don't make movies. Like me, the producer, I make the money. I finance this thing. I know
this kind
better.
of ties into my idea that there is very little true imagination anymore.
I wish producers would just honestly just run straight into a brick wall sometimes and just like lay down asleep, unconscious, and just stay asleep and let the people that actually like know what they're doing do what they know how to do. Just a thought, like let the creators create and the penny pinch. Yeah, fuck off. Like choose your talent and entrust them with their vision. Stop fucking meddling with things.
Right. Well, that's because
it
you
never
gotta pay the bills in the right way. That's the hard part about that stuff. Those big studios
fuck it up.
Gotta pay the bills.
And in so worrying about paying the bills, they fuck it up, and then they can't pay the bills because they fucked it up.
Well, see, that's the issue with the big studios is they make their money most of the time off of these films, so they're never gonna stop it as long as they're making money.
Yeah, well, you see, that's why I gravitate more towards the indie, because that's where you get true visionary, unadulterated, untampered with visions, even if at a low budget. You don't get all this studio meddling,
right?
Because that's just like, oh, how can we get hours and money from these people,
right?
So let's get their asses in the seat, get them to pay their money, and let's get them to come back for the shoehorned sequels we got coming out next year.
Right. Oh, I get it.
That's my turn off.
Oh, I get it. I get it completely.
But you know what? I think the Mortal Kombat movie will be super duper cool. I think I'll love the motherfucking shit out of it. I'm on our little board over here. I'll probably end up, well, I don't know what it'll end up being, but if it's gonna have any downsides, the two that are apparent where that would come from would be the Cole Young with his birthmark dragon tattoo, meaning he's special and can fight in the tournament.
Right.
That and the absence of Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Will probably be the two things.
I feel like, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like the absence of Johnny Cage won't be as big of a deal as you think it will.
Maybe not. That's fine. I'll be so entertained with what's going on, I probably won't even miss the guy.
Right. Because I say that because your reference to like what it should be, so to say, is the old, movies.
Yeah, well, like that's the thing. When I watched the trailer, I was like, "Wow, the tone looks right. The characters look right. Things look right." Uh, where's Johnny Cage?
Right.
And I know everybody's gonna have their where's this character?
Right.
Like I know they can't fit everybody in there. I know that.
Right.
And everyone's gonna be bitching and disappointed that like somebody wasn't in there. And I'm like super fucking happy that they got Kung Lao in there, the Razor Hat guy,
Right.
and Cabal, which we just saw on the poster that I didn't even know was in the movie.
Right.
And Goro's in there, and
Yeah, all the heavy hitters.
all looks cool. There, yeah. It's I'm sure that's all gonna be awesome. It's rated R. That's awesome. Because
thank God.
Yeah, really. Because when the first movie came out, it's like the people that were interested in Mortal Kombat were kids. It's like they would play in the arcade after school. Now those same kids, we're all adults now,
right?
And Mortal Kombat's audience is still there.
Yeah,
like we still love Mortal Kombat all these years later,
right?
And it's like, okay, this can be R as it should. It'll still make money,
right?
That's our audience now. We can do this. Great, wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank goodness that's there. Because like that's the fucking bone busting, bone snapping, breaking, blood gushing. Like that's part of it.
Yeah, that's how I felt when Logan came out. It was like the last Wolverine movie that
I saw that movie.
What's his face did?
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. But that was the best Wolverine movie because it was actually what Wolverine was. Like all the PG Wolverine stuff, that's not actually Wolverine from the comic books. It's like if Deadpool would have been a PG movie. Like that wouldn't have been Deadpool. Deadpool is what we got, thank God.
You got a dude with claws coming out of his hand.
Huge anger issue.
What does he do with? Does he spank people with those?
Yeah. Right.
No, he fucking tears people apart. That's what it is.
He runs them through.
Yeah, this is a dude of like pain and distress and fucking anger.
Right.
And fucking show it. Like, Jesus Christ.
So scared.
Yeah, like,
it's just because the studios are scared that once they hit the R rating, they're just gonna like cut off home market, which they do to a certain extent, but it's not like 2-year-olds are gonna be walking into the R-rated theaters. But
yeah, they do this. It's nothing new. They did it with the first Mortal Kombat movie. I still watch that all the time. So
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I wish it would have been rated R, but it's still good. They still got enough right about it. It's a cheesy fest that I love to watch.
Right. Well, hopefully it's gonna work out.
I mean, if I spooge that hard over the trailer, then I don't see how the movie is not going to have that same effect in many scenes. And
when is that out?
We'll have to look it up. I should know. It's April something. I'll just say April 25th because that just sounds right. I hope it's sooner.
16th.
April 16th.
APDL 16th.
Yes, sirree. I'll be there.
Oh.
Now maybe there'll be a sequel, and Johnny Cage will be in the sequel.
Let's look at the cast. I didn't think about this. You just look at the cast and see who's all here. Sonya Kano, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Cole Young, Raiden, Liu Kang, Jax, Shang Tsung, Melina, Cabal, Kung Lao. Nobody. Allison Young, Nitara.
Oh, that's what the fuck is Nitara doing in this thing? Nitara? I know you're not gonna know who that is.
I don't know who that is off the top of my head.
So obviously there's a lot of Mortal Kombat games, and there's some characters that like were in for a very short period of time, like 1 or 2 installments.
Yeah.
And then they were out. And you never saw or heard from them again because like no one liked them.
Right.
That's kind of what Nitara is. She's like one of those characters that
just like a throwaway.
Just fucking popped in.
She'll probably die
out.
Pretty quickly then.
Like maybe they'll make her cool somehow, but she's like wasn't memorable like Natara. You don't think Mortal Kombat? Like, oh yeah, let's go down the characters. Yeah,
Natara.
there's Sub-Zero and there's Raiden and Natara. What?
Oh yeah, she's at my top 5.
And Cole Young.
No, I don't. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we're probably going to go watch that and podcast that day or the day after.
Yeah, there will be a podcast on that movie for sure. All about that.
And then next week, we're going to set up a Justice League back to back.
Yes.
And do a podcast after that.
Yes. I saw Justice League in the theater, if you can believe that.
I have a real hard time.
I don't know who got me in there, but I went to go see
it. Was weed.
I don't even know if I was on weed.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, maybe I will be for this next one.
I believe it.
I remember not much about that movie other than
it was terrible.
Like this was my reaction to that movie.
Really? I thought you would have had more of an issue with this than Avatar. Ironically.
I just remember being like, whatever.
Right.
That doesn't mean the original Justice League is like here and Avatar is like, no, it's like Avatar and the Justice League was like, like not much. Like, it was like another forgettable movie. I don't remember. You know what? I don't even remember anything about it. Hardly. I like
Justice League or Avatar?
Justice League. Well, both. I don't remember. All I remember about Justice League is that I liked the actors and characters better than I would have the Avatar people.
Right.
Because at least you get like, it felt like there was something good there. Obviously, the movie was choppy because they chopped it down. And like I knew that back then, I'm sure. So things felt pretty messy.
Right.
But with this recut Zack Snyder remake, we'll get to see the actual full thing. But it's like
the intended,
yeah, I remember liking like the actors and characters for the most part, like Aquaman and the Flash guy. I thought was actually like, I remember liking him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the what's the other dude?
Batman, Superman,
no,
Aquaman,
no,
the Flash,
no, the other
Cyborg,
guy, that one. Yeah, I remember he was like didn't seem fleshed out at all.
No, I think that was
barely
just
remember.
Throw a character at it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that there's more potential there with like those actors and those characters. You'll get more from that than you will Wet Paper Bag, Worthington, and Blue Cat people.
Well, it seems like a good place to end.
Yep.
Fuck the cat people.
Yeah, hey, you know what? If I give Avatar the time of day nowadays, I might change my tune. Probably not by much, but I'll go as far as to give Avatar this. If I were to rewatch it, I'd probably like it a little bit better now than I did back then, but only because I'd probably be stoned as shit, and I appreciate filmmaking even more today, even when it's bad.
Wow.
Just because.
Brilliant. I did not hit
her. If you want to watch a James Cameron movie, go watch Terminator 1 and 2 and True Lies and Aliens and what's the other good one?
Aliens. True Lies. Titanic.
Titanic's good. I like Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic's good.
So yeah, it's not like I'm a James Cameron hater. Like I fucking like Titanic.
You hate him.
Avatar, I think it was. Well, you know, Avatar is his worst movie.
He's shutting down. His batteries are. It's over.
Oh, let's not forget to mention The Abyss. You know, it's weird. All of James Cameron's movies either start with an A or a T, and they're only one word.
Cool.
Terminator,
cool.
Aliens, Abyss. True Lies, Avatar, Titanic.
True Lies. It's 2 words.
Oh, 2 words. Okay, well, it starts with a T, but they're all A's or T's. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But and
You
no,
heard it
fucking
here, folks.
Piranha 2 doesn't count, so shut up.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
that's
yeah.
it.
All right. Well, yeah, these are good headphones. I like these headphones.
Do all the normal stuff. Let us know what you want to watch.
Yeah. Comment and shit.
Have a great night.
Him next tonight.
You know, freaking.
No, what's this thing?
But I had to have one is so
You're out to your desk. You're out to the end.